Today I'm going to go over the Alaska Triangle and all the mysterious disappearances that happened there. Last week while I was working on a future video, I was binge watching the History Channel on YouTube, as I love to do from time to time. And they were talking about all the mysterious vanishings that happened in Alaska. There are more people that go missing within the Alaska Triangle than anywhere else in the United States, maybe even the entire world. Just in the past 60 years, 20,000 people have been reported missing. That is a lot of people. Now yes, Alaska is a cold and dangerous place. It's very unforgiving. All it takes is one little mistake while out in the wilderness and you could never be seen again. But there are a lot of people that believe there could be something else, something paranormal that is responsible for some of these vanishings. And over the next couple of months, I'm going to go over some of my favorite theories as to what could be causing this. While researching the Alaska Triangle, I was actually surprised at how many cryptids and mysterious entities the natives believe live in this region. And in the case we're going to talk about today, there are quite a few eyewitnesses who believe they saw something that science has yet to explain. Now just like how almost every ancient culture has a legend about a flood, we also have stories from many different cultures about little people. But in Alaska, the people that live here believe in them so much that they don't let their kids go out at night. In one of the episodes I was watching about these mysterious disappearances, a host of the show was talking to an officer about some of the strange vanishings that happened here. And the host was shocked when this detective told him that gnomes could be behind it. When this officer, Dean, first came here to Alaska, he learned about these little evil people. And at first he thought that it was just local folklore, kind of like how the Irish talk about leprechauns. But over time while living here, he has seen some things that makes him believe that these gnomes could actually be real. He explained that when he first came here, he was surprised that on Halloween, all the kids, even the teenagers, would go home before it got dark. He was shocked as usually on Halloween, people would stay out all night and goof around. But these streets were dead quiet. So he realized that people in this area really do believe that these gnomish looking creatures are real. And not too long after, he had an encounter with something that he couldn't explain. One night this officer, Dean, got a call about a disturbance. And shortly after arriving to this location, something started to throw large rocks at him. And when he looked in the direction these rocks were coming from, he got a glimpse of what he described as a tiny but very muscular person. Now, he only saw it for a few seconds, but after this encounter he thought to himself, holy crap, these little people might actually be real. It is said that these gnomes are about 3 feet tall, extremely powerful, and can move extremely fast. They're also known to be evil. These gnomes are not like the ones in Western fairy tales. The natives say they truly can be wicked, and this is the reason parents don't let their kids go out at night. Even full-grown adults have to be careful. And because of these sightings is why people believe that these creatures could be responsible for some of these disappearances. A very disturbing case happened back in 2005. One nice and sunny day, a child asked her mom if she could play outside, and her mom said she could as long as she didn't leave the backyard. And while the mother was looking out the kitchen window into her backyard, she noticed something small run across her yard. Whatever this was moved oddly, and it was fast. She felt that there was something just not right about what she saw. So she went to the back door to go check on her child, but after calling her name several times she didn't answer. So the mother, now freaking out, ran into the backyard looking for her daughter, but she was nowhere to be seen. And still to this day her daughter, sadly, is still missing. Now at the time most suspected that this was an animal attack, but there were no signs of that. There were no tracks, no ripped clothing, no blood, and this young girl also didn't scream out for help. It's as if she just vanished into thin air. But since her mother did see something small moving very fast that didn't look like an animal, makes some suspect that maybe she was taken by one of these little people. And it's because of cases like this why parents don't let their kids go out at night. And even in the day, they should never be alone. One thing I would like to add is Native Americans are some of the best trackers in the world. And they say that these creatures don't make tracks. Throughout the centuries, the native people would from time to time see them, but they can never follow them, and they learn that they just don't leave any tracks. And this is another reason why they say these small gnome-like creatures are magical in nature. Another strange sighting happened when a woman, Natalie, got a call from her neighbor telling her that her dog had run away and that they just saw it by a road not too far away from their house. So Natalie, worried but not wanting to go alone as this area was remote, asked her friend Allie if she would go with her. And Allie told her of course she would, as this dog was part of the family. And shortly after arriving to the location where the dog was last spotted, Allie saw that there was blood splattered on the ground. So worried for the dog, they started calling its name, hoping that it was okay. And while they were shouting, something blasted them with a bunch of snow. And when they turned around, they saw something small moving in the trees. And as they were staring, wondering what the heck this thing was, it stopped and looked at them, and this thing scared them to death. The girls estimated that this humanoid creature was only about 3 feet tall, but it had the face of an old man. It was also covered in sticks and moss. Natalie stated that it was horrid. She had never seen a face that looked like that. And after they made eye contact, this thing ran away at an extremely fast speed. The girls couldn't believe how fast this tiny human could move. Now, these girls were scared to death. They ran back to their car and got the heck out of there. And sadly, Natalie never saw her dog again. And after this encounter, these girls truly wondered if they encountered something that was supernatural. They never believed that there were tiny humanoid creatures like that lived in the Alaska wilderness. Now, other eyewitnesses also believed that what they saw was paranormal. Some suspect that they're interdimensional beings. And while I was making this video, I remembered that the Irish also say that there are little people who live out in the woods that kidnap their children, and the Irish call them the Fae. Now, it's not just the Irish. The Zulu of South Africa told Western explorers that they have little people who inhabit their lands, and that from time to time, they would take their children. So here we have 3 cultures, the Inuit, the Zulu, the Irish, who had no contact with each other, that say basically the same thing. Now the folklore is a bit different, as the Irish say that their children could be taken, but also sometimes they could be replaced by one of these evil magic entities, and these babies are known as changelings. The Zulus say that these entities could sneak into your house at night and just flat out kill you, then steal your children. And I bet there are other cultures that say similar things. So it makes me wonder, could these little people actually exist? And maybe they truly are interdimensional beings. Now some believe that they're not magical or interdimensional, but real physical beings that are still hiding from us. Alaska is extremely remote, so just maybe it could be possible. Some have suggested that they live underground. And in Alaska, there are massive underground ice caves connected by miles of tunnels. And these cave systems are far too dangerous for us to explore, and many of them still remain unknown to us. Now, I'm sure the majority of the population would disagree, as in this day and age, we probably should have proof of them by now. But nonetheless, we do have many eyewitnesses, as well as stories passed down for thousands of years. And I believe every single tribe in this region has a different name for these little people. Now, thanks to David Pilatus and his work on Missing 411, we now know about how strange and mysterious some of these disappearances are. So it makes us wonder if something unknown, something paranormal is responsible for not just some, but a lot of these cases we hear. And could these legends of magical little people that we have from all over the world have something to do with all these mysterious vanishings? Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.